Well, joining us now is the director of the popular Conservative group, Mark Littlewood, who probably has a different idea for what a spring statement should look like to that of Rachel Reeves, our Chancellor. But she's got a bit of a conundrum, doesn't she? We're not experiencing the growth she'd hoped for and also promised the British public. We're seeing lots of difficulties in the labour market. Still, we've got inflationary pressures. What does she do?
Well, you're right, Emily. She's boxed herself into a pretty tight corner. I mean, if you remember back to the election, and Tom and yourself were saying some of the things that they had promised at the time, it seemed to be their strategy that just bringing in stability, the slightly robotic, monotonous voice of Rachel Reeves and the bedside manner of Keir Starmer would be enough to stabilise the economy and growth would suddenly appear. People would be so delighted that the shambolic Conservatives were out of office. Well, that has not transpired at all. Turns out, surprise, surprise, that the economy reacts not to what you say, but to what you do. This government has decided to keep spending extremely high. We're on target for it going higher and higher still. And I'm afraid in the position we're in now, the tactic seems to be that the beatings will continue until morale improves. And that's not likely to deliver much GDP growth. So rather than talk of austerity, I think we've got to actually get the talk on to efficiency. We shouldn't consider cuts in government spending to be barbaric or unwarranted, given that government spending has ballooned out of control and is delivering very unproductive services that people are completely disgruntled by. But what she's doing is trimming. She's desperately trying to find $1 billion here, $1 billion there, to make sure that she doesn't breach the OBR's rules, the Office for Budget Responsibilities rules, and should be far better, I think, to think strategically what money can reasonably be saved over a 3 or 4 year time scan than what does she need to actually announce on Wednesday in order to stay within the OBR's rather rigid tramlines.
Now, of course, there is a great deal of consternation, not just in this country, but around the world. I mean, the cost of government debt has risen in just about every developed country. To what extent can we lay the blame at the feet of the Chancellor that in this country, the payments that the government has to make on the debt, the debt servicing cost is now the third largest expenditure of government. I mean, it's risen everywhere. Is this all to do with the Chancellor?
No, it's not. But I'd have more sympathy, Tom, and indeed confidence in our present government if, while that debt was rising, and it's been rising because we've been adding to it for a quarter of a century now, there's been no balanced budget in that time, if while Labour were in opposition, their rallying cry was the Conservatives are spending far too much, this is irresponsible government spending, they should be tacking back considerably, otherwise debt payments will go up, and that will get us into a death spiral. Well, I would have some degree of sympathy. But that wasn't the clarion call of the Labour Party in opposition. It was that the Conservatives weren't spending enough. There was no government cut to expenditure that was warmly applauded by Labour or encouraged the government to go even further on. So I think if you were to imagine a world in which Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer had actually been Prime Minister and Chancellor over the past 14 years, not just the past 6 or 7 months, the position would probably be even worse. Politicians have got to speak honestly about getting government spending down. That's why I think every government is due to inherit a worse mess than they would have hoped for, because there doesn't appear to be an appetite for that really anywhere across the political spectrum. And that way, economic disaster lies, I'm afraid.
OK, well, Mark Littlewood, thank you very much indeed. You're the director of the popular Conservative group.
Well, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed that video, please make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the Popcon YouTube channel. You can also find out more about us on our website, popularconservatism.com, and you can follow us on social media. Details are in the show notes below.